Thanks, Ruth. I found one question here that kind of addresses something I've heard you talk about before, so I thought I'd bring this up. Could the neglect factor rather be a missing link in sexual trauma? I'm thinking of Judith Herman's book, Father-Daughter Incest, and how usually there is a cold mother before there is an abusing father, where the attention from the father seems like a life-saving option.
Great question. And we will be talking about this more in the course. But the key word is regulation. And regulation, I don't have time to really unpack regulation right now. But regulation has two meanings. I'm not going to go into detail, but basically the nervous system of the infant who is neglected will be either hyper or hypo aroused. And when we learn about trauma, we sort of learn that there's a window of tolerance and that we get activated when we get triggered. The arousal goes really high, and we are alone, like the child of neglect, the arousal, the stimulation level may be really low. And one of the important functions of the primary caregiver is to help the child learn to manage the natural ups and downs of regulation, because sort of by nature, when we're hungry or scared or cold or wet, whatever the need might be, we get, upset and activated. And a good caregiver helps the child to calm down and understand the ups and downs of the nervous system as natural and as something we can both have help to manage and then learn to manage ourselves. And if that doesn't happen, and we have a dysregulated nervous system where the person cannot calm down when they get hyperaroused and cannot, get going again when they drop into that sort of dead, dissociated nothingness. They don't have that capacity for self-regulation. Well, sexuality, we're going to go into this more in the course. Sexuality requires a delicate balance between stimulation and calm. Because if we don't get excited, we can't, we're not turned on. And if we are scared or unsafe, we can't function sexually. So what does that mean? It means we have to have a balance in the nervous system between sympathetic arousal, the arousal side of the autonomic nervous system, and parasympathetic, which is calming, the safety side of the autonomic nervous system. We need to have both. And if this child or adult no longer has regulation, their sexuality, or if they never were regulated and so they can't manage their activation, their sexuality is either going to be like a runaway train or a dead person. So it can show up all kinds of ways, even if there's not sexual trauma, overt sexual trauma, meaning hands-on or body parts on sexual trauma. We're going to talk more in the course about different kinds of sexual trauma and also the ways that non-overtly sexual trauma can disrupt sexuality.